Hello best friends, Christian O here. I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. In this video, it's Beast Mode fragrances with a huge compliment factor. Some of them are on the borderline of being Beast Mode because I know how particular you can be. Don't forget to stop by my website if you'd like to try any of these fragrances on this list, like this Nishane, and it'll be a much affordable price. They come in these little 130 spray scent sprayers starting at $14.95. Let's start with this fragrance. I was going to start with this Interlude Black Iris, but we're going to start with this Nishane Hasivat. Now the name Nishane is the brand name. The title of the fragrance is Hasivat. It's an extrait de parfum. And the fragrance has a line called Shadow Puppetry line or something like that. And they name their fragrances after the names of shadow puppets back in the 1200s. It's very popular in Turkey, Istanbul, not Constantinople, but actually back then it would have been called Constantinople, I think. Anyway, the names of the puppet was Hasivat, which means Ivan. Let me get something straight before all this technical jargon. Have you ever had a plate of food? Maybe it's pasta, maybe it's french fries, maybe it's ribs, whatever it is you eat, and you're eating it, or for me it would be ice cream with like some sort of topping, and you know you gotta stop. You're full, you've had your fill, but you just can't get enough. You have to go back for more. Addictive, alluring type feeling you get. And this is how I got with this fragrance. I've only tried it one time yesterday, Halloween 2020, and got amazing results from it. Amazing. And here it is again. I'm freshly showered. Hot water came off me. There's nothing left on me. There's a little bit of this on my wash because it sticks that strong. But we're going to just test it right in front of you, and I'm going to give you my reaction on this hand because there's nothing on it. I sprayed one little shot, and here you go. Wow, it's like super intense. It's so engulfing. It takes away your senses. So that's what happened. I sprayed it, I yelled, I went for a walk with the dog. I sprayed it one here and one here, and I was around sexy, sophisticated women at this little park I go to, and they instantly said, wow, you smell amazing. And these type of women do not like fragrances. I barely could talk about it, so we don't talk about fragrances. Right now it's starting to air out, and you get instantly the pineapple, the bergamot, the exact same thing like a Creta Ventus fragrance would, and jasmine, oak moss, and woods, but I don't see any vanilla in here. And it's kind of smoky and sweet somehow. Maybe it's the jasmine. Oh my God, it's just so unique. It's got some punch in it, but it's like soft and elegant. It's very, very hard to describe. I would say this is built for a sultan because that's who was watching those shadow plays back then, the sultans. This is a 3.4 ounce bottle. There is your information on the bottom of the bottle. It came with this cool little card to give you the effect more. It's got the theater, like the little puppet right there. Maybe that's Ivan himself. Yeah, Hasivat, that's Ivan himself on the card. So it gives you that whole effect. It plays out the story that it's trying to convey perfectly, lasting 10 hours easily. So what happens after 4 hours after I wore it? Everywhere I was going, whether in my house, my car, I kept smelling whiffs and whiffs of it, and it made me have that addictive feeling like I asked you about when you eat your ice cream or pasta or food, your favorite food, that you can't stop eating it. I had to get more whiffs, and I just couldn't fulfill it, but it was there constantly. And after the first 30 minutes, personally, I couldn't even smell it. And I asked the woman, I said, can you smell this? She said, yes, I can very much. And I said, dang, I can't smell it. Because that's oftentimes when I first smelled Aventus, even to this day, it goes away after an hour. But everyone else can smell it, but I can't. Something, they think they call it olfactory overdose. And this one does it for you. Highly recommend it. Pay the money for this. If you like to, I know you might be married or whatever, maybe you have a budget, but if you want, I'm gonna buy an extra bottle. I'm gonna save up. The price was very high. I don't even want to mention the price. Maybe it was $280, $300, something like that. But I'm gonna save up and buy another bottle of this. It's so unique, and I'm gonna play with it all week. By playing with it, I'm gonna spray it all week long and see what happens. It's light, creamy, and longevity is outstanding. The scent trail, the sillage is above average. And people remind him of Creta Ventus, Cedrat Boise, Orion by Tiziana Terenzi, bond number 9. I would stop it right there. Some people said Club de Nuit, but man, go on that blog. I couldn't compare this to Club de Nuit. Whew. I can smell it still. Next up, we have a fragrance by Amouage called Black Iris Interlude. It came in this box, and this is the old Amouage Blue Beast, just so you have a reference of what it looks like. It's got the gold cap, and this is the Black Iris Interlude. This one on their website says they toned down the oregano note. At first spray, it has this leathery rosemary agar wood smoke scent to it, and you get some frankincense, which they call oblinum. How do you pronounce that? It's like a resin from a tree. It has orris root. Do you know what orris root is by now? Because I don't, but I do. It's the root of an iris, so it's more intense, I would say. It has in their heart, it has the orris root, the vanilla, and the myrrh, M-Y-R-R-H. It has oud sandalwood with an emphasis on leather in the base. That's what I got. The noticeable difference between old school Interlude Blue Beast and this is way more wearable. This is less aggressive. This is much smoother, much creamier. Adding iris to Interlude and toning down the other notes makes it a beautiful fragrance. On the back of the bottle, it says made in Oman, 25% oil. The cap is magnetic. It sprays out like this. The wearability versus the price versus the versatility is outstanding. Again, this is, I wouldn't even look for it on a discounter. I mean, I would be very careful because these fragrances are being cloned fast in places like Russia. These Russian sellers I see on all sorts of other platforms like eBay or Etsy, and they're getting a hold of these niche fragrances and selling them so much cheaper. I'd be very careful. If you were to buy this, you should buy it direct from Amouage just to be safe, or maybe your fragrance discount house that's never done you wrong. There's quite a few of them. An interesting side note, on their website they said that an artist from the 1920s, specifically 1926, Georgia O'Keeffe, made her interpretation of Black Iris, which is a floral, in very extreme detail, and other people, and I want you to go and Google it if you want and tell me what your interpretation is, because some people interpreted the painting differently. If you look at it, it may look kind of X-rated, but it's not. It's just such a beautiful work of art that everyone looks at it differently. You'll have to look at it and give me your own interpretation. 1920s was a hustling, bustling New York City, and she was trying to tell you stop and smell the roses, or stop and look at flowers in full detail. All the fragrances on this list have a huge sex appeal to them. They get you compliments, just so you know. This is the least expensive on the whole list, coming in at $61 average internet price, and maybe $104 if you were to buy it at Sephora. This Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum came out the same year as this, 2016. This is Givenchy Gentleman Only, Absolute. So now in 2017, just so you get it straight, they came out with Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette in this style black type of bottle, which was a reinterpretation of their 1974 bottle. So these titles can get quite confusing. So this one was the only line, just to make it even easier in layman's terms. It drew a lot of popularity when it first came out in 2016, then it flatlined in 2017-18, I would imagine, because they released that other fragrance, Givenchy Gentleman, from 2017. Remember, this is only Absolute Parfum, so maybe people on blogs get confused and they're thinking of Givenchy Gentleman Only Cologne or Givenchy Gentleman, and they might type in the wrong thing. So only you can make your own assumption or listen to this review. I'm about to tell you about it. If you are a person who likes Dior Homme Intense or fragrances like Yves Saint Laurent, La Nuit de l'Homme, even Giorgio Armani, Versace, Eros, Bleu de Chanel, this is a mass appealing type fragrance that you might enjoy it. It's a designer mass appeal, yes. Some say that it opens up like Spice Bomb. I don't know, it kind of does. When it finally dries down, it's more leathery and tobacco. One reviewer, his name was Sharkbait, he said it reminded him of being at a bonfire with his friends, and it brought lots of fond memories, and I can see where he says that, because it does give you the smoky feel. So, after 5 hours long, it's still going strong. Actually, this Eau de Parfum lasted on me 12 hours, but by 7 to 12, it just stayed the same as a skin scent. It just never went away. It wasn't like it was projecting. It was just still there, stuck to your skin. But people are saying it lasts 5 to 7 hours in general with a good 1 hour projection. So it's projecting real strong the first hour. This is batch code 9101. Hasibat was taught to me by the viewer of the day, Manny Lieberman. He taught me about this maybe 2 years ago. He kept begging me to get it, and I couldn't find it. And I wish I would have, because it's smoking hot now. But at the time, it was so expensive, and I was on a serious budget 2 years ago. But shout out to you, Manny Lieberman. Question of the day: can you name me some true Beast Mode or borderline Beast Mode fragrances that would add to this list? Comment them down below.